Hello everybody, I'm back with more robot game hacks. Let's check out 3 more. So today I have 3 more things that might help you up your actual game day on competition day or however you are competing with this game this year. Whether you're using this mini robot, you're using this robot, or you're using a completely other design, these 3 things will still work for you. Try not to line follow too much. It takes a long time for your robot to kind of wiggle down a line, and it takes up time in your 2.5 minutes. But instead, dead reckon, use the gyros in these things. They're really good. The EV3 gyros are good as well. But there's another way you can use the lines, and that's to help tell your robot where it is at. For example, stopping at lines. Using lines as a reference point. So I stop at this line and now I can go 1 rotation forward. Or backing up against the wall here, stopping at this line and using it as a guide to tell, hey, my robot is right here on the mat at all times, and the wall's never gonna move either, so the wall's really good to use as well. So now I can go 1.5 rotations forward and turn to the tire or turn to the rowing machine or whatever I need to do. So just try not to line follow too much. I'm not saying don't do it, but don't waste too much time doing it. Use the lines for telling your robot where it's at on the field, stopping and things like that. Number 2, try and use passive attachments on your robots. This is a passive attachment for the bench. This is also a passive attachment for the bench, but there are some missions you might not even need an attachment for, like the step counter, driving under the pull-up bar. You don't need an attachment for that. But there are other things as well. If you have to use a motorized attachment, keep it simple. There's, just something simple to flip over the tires, or something simple for putting the cubes in the boccia mission, or maybe a little bit more complicated would be this rack and pinion for the basketball mission. But don't get crazy with it, because the crazier you get, the more things could go wrong. So passive attachments, if you can use them, great. Simple active attachments are the best if you have to use a motor. The 3rd and final tip for today is to have mission specialists. I'm not saying I programmed this mission so I'm gonna run it on competition day. I'm saying pick a person to run a mission, and they know exactly where it goes in the launch area. They know exactly what to do with the attachments to get them on. You press go and you walk away. And then when the robot comes back home, the next person is there. You have an attachment specialist that takes the attachment off, puts the next attachment on, while the mission specialist is lining it up. You press go, walk away. Wait till the robot comes back home. The attachment specialist doesn't change, it's the same person. Takes the attachment off, puts the next attachment on, while this person lines it up, presses go, and walks away. Do you get the picture? It makes life easier for everybody if one person runs one mission at a time. So if I know on competition day exactly what I'm doing because I practiced it for 3 weeks, I know exactly where it goes in the launch area. I know that the attachment specialist is going to put the attachment on. I'm going to double check it real quick, and then I'm hitting the go button, and then I'm walking away. So the attachment specialist doesn't change the entire match. I think that's pretty smooth. Hopefully I've given you some good ideas to help you up your FLL game this year and every year from here on out, to help you save time, which, time is points. So good luck this year, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, something cool's happening. Maybe some FTC tutorials coming.